Greetings and salutations, fellow pilots. This is Akirishin. In this video, I will be featuring the Lavochkin La-15 Russian fighter, a Tier 10 aircraft. But before we get into that, I wanted to go over some future videos that I intend to do, because I have just unlocked some aircraft that I have been wanting to feature, but haven't yet. One of those aircraft is the F-6U. I just unlocked this past weekend, and I will be featuring that in an upcoming video. I also recently unlocked the Messerschmitt Me-265, which is a beautiful ground attack aircraft. A lot of fun to fly, and I'm looking forward to featuring that for you sometime this next week. I haven't posted any videos in the past few days because I have been sick, kind of had a cold, and it took my voice out of commission for a few days. But it's primarily back up and running. You can probably still tell I have a little bit of a cold, but it's good enough to be able to bring you this video of the La-15. And I am very excited about this aircraft because I have really enjoyed flying it. And the reason I was interested in the La-15 is because I like the armaments. I also like that it has good maneuverability, but unlike the Yak 30, it has medium altitude capability, so it's not just a low altitude fighter. So the La-15 features three 23mm cannons which do 170 damage per second, the rate of fire of 480 rounds per minute, and a good effective firing range of 800 meters. I really like these cannons. They're very effective. Now, in terms of upgrades, I have focused on this aircraft's strengths with a major focus on those strengths that permit the greatest improvement. And what I mean by that is that this aircraft is indicated as having good maneuverability in rolls and turns. But of course, good maneuverability does not mean high or very high maneuverability. So while it is, a reasonable strength of this aircraft, there is definitely room for improvement. Therefore, I have equipped as upgrades Lightweight Airframe 4, which increases the aircraft's maneuverability in all axes by 3%, and also Control Surface Adjustment 4, which increases maneuverability in turns by 3%. The La-15 has high airspeed. Again, not very high airspeed, but high airspeed, so there is room for improvement. And so I have equipped Engine Tuning 4, which primarily helps us to maintain our speed in turns and while maneuvering, and also in the climb. To achieve good synergy with our upgrades, I have equipped Engine Guru 1, which increases engine thrust by 3%. I have also equipped Aerodynamics Expert, which improves by 40% the effects of all three of our upgrades. So anytime you can choose upgrades that can all benefit from Aerodynamics Expert, that's good synergy between your pilot skills and your equipment. To further assist this aircraft in maneuverability, I have equipped Aerobatics Expert, which increases maneuverability in all axes by 2%. I had an additional 2 points, and I chose to go with Marksman 1. You could also go with Fire Resistance and Eagle-Eyed for those 2 points, but I chose Marksman 1. In terms of ammunition, I have chosen Universal Ammunition, which has equal parts chance of fire and critical damage. This aircraft has low survivability, so I have chosen to equip Automatic Fire Extinguisher. Now, if I went with the fire-related pilot skill, I would not have gone with Automatic Fire Extinguisher. I would have chosen probably First Aid Kit. I also chose Automatic Engine Restarter because our speed and maneuverability in this aircraft is one of its greatest strengths. So we want to make sure that our engine doesn't get knocked out and take that strength away from us for any period of time. I've also gone with Control Surface Auto Trim, again, so that we can maintain this aircraft's maneuverability should our wings or tail take critical damage. And all 3 of those consumables are gold consumables, which activate automatically and have a 60-second cooldown. The non-gold versions of those consumables activate manually and have 90-second cooldowns. In terms of the aircraft's specifications, its optimum altitude is 2,000 meters. It can certainly perform higher than that with our engine-related upgrades. It has a rate of climb of 67 meters per second. Its optimum airspeed is 500 kilometers per hour. Top speed at best altitude is 1,000 kilometers per hour, so a very fast aircraft. Same on the dive speed. In terms of maneuverability, average time to turn 360 degrees is 9 seconds. So your best Japanese aircraft have 8-second turning time. So this aircraft is very maneuverable. Basically, I have found it to be very akin to the Yak-30, but having greater altitude performance. And that's why I like this aircraft so much. Also, as compared to the MiG, it kind of has a slimmer look to it, which I really like. Speaking of looks, looking at the paint schemes, this is summer, winter, desert, and marine. I think probably desert is my favorite look for this aircraft. Alright, so what we're going to do now is go over to World of Warplanes website, use their Compare Aircraft tool to compare the La-15 to its Tier 10 peers. So let's do that now. Alright, so we are here on World of Warplanes website using their Compare Aircraft tool. And I have lined up the various different Tier 10 fighters to compare against the La-15. So let's get right into it. First up, we have the other Russian fighters, the Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-15 BIS and the Yakovlev Yak-30. Now, it is the Yak-30's limitation on altitude that motivated me to get the La-15. I'll just mention that right up front. But in terms of gun armaments, the Yak-30 and the La-15 have the same accoutrements of armaments. The MiG-15 is indicated as being slightly better in terms of gun armaments, if you take all of the armaments of the La-15, they can collectively do a total of 510 damage per second, whereas the MiG's armaments can do a collective total of 660 damage per second. So that is why the MiG is indicated as being slightly superior to the La-15. None of these aircraft, of course, have bombs, so that's not an issue. Survivability, the MiG and the La-15 have the same survivability levels and the same hit points. The Yak-30 has a slightly lower hit point value by 50. The La-15 is indicated as being superior in terms of airspeed as compared to the Yak-30, whereas the MiG-15 is 20 kilometers per hour faster than the La-15. And of course we're talking about top speed at best altitude, I should clarify here. Max dive speed, again, La-15 superior to the Yak, whereas the MiG-15 is 100 kilometers per hour superior to the La-15. In terms of maneuverability, the MiG-15 is 1.2 seconds slower on the 360-degree turn, whereas the Yak-30 is 1 second faster. In terms of rate of roll, the La-15 is superior to both the MiG and the Yak-30. Optimum airspeed, the MiG is 160 kilometers per hour faster than the La-15, whereas the La-15 is 25 kilometers per hour faster than the Yak-30. Stall speed, the MiG will stall prior to the La-15. The Yak and the La-15 are the same in that category. Optimum altitude, the MiG, of course, as I said, is a high altitude performer. It has an 800 meter advantage over the La-15, whereas the La-15 has a 500 meter advantage over the Yak-30. So again, it is that advantage over the Yak-30 that led me to the La-15 in the first place. Rate of climb, the MiG outclimbs the La-15, whereas the La-15 and the Yak-30 have the same rate of climb. So personally, choosing between the Yak-30 and the La-15, I think the La-15 has greater versatility than the Yak-30. They're both great aircraft, but I have to give it to the La-15 as being overall the better aircraft as compared to the Yak-30. Moving on, we have our two German fighters to compare, the MEP-1101 and the Focke-Wulf FW-252. Both excellent aircraft that I thoroughly enjoy. In terms of gun armaments, both the FW-252 and the MEP-1101 are indicated to be superior to the La-15. Again, I'll remind you that collectively the armaments of the La-15 do a total of 510 damage per second. The armaments of the P-1101 in comparison do 800 damage per second. So that's a pretty significant difference there. The FW-252 does a total of 700 damage per second as compared to the La-15's 510 damage per second. The guns of the FW-252 do have a firing range, though, that is 100 meters less than the firing range of the La-15. So if these two were going head-to-head, the La-15 would be putting rounds upon the FW-252 first. In terms of survivability, the P-1101 has slightly inferior hit points as compared to the La-15, whereas the FW-252 has greater hit points than the La-15. Top speed at best altitude, it's the same for the FW-252 and La-15, whereas the La-15 has a 50 km per hour advantage over the MEP-1101. Maximum dive speed, same for the P-1101 and the LA-15, whereas the FW-252 has a 100 km/h advantage over the LA-15. Maneuverability, the LA-15 significantly outmaneuvers both the P-1101 and the FW-252. The FW-252 being worse in that category than the P-1101. And that's a very significant issue. When you get in a turning dogfight, the LA-15 is going to win that among these aircraft. Rate of roll, LA-15 outrolls the MEP-1101, whereas the FW-252 outrolls the LA-15. Optimum airspeed, the German aircraft are both significantly faster by over 100 km/h. Stall speed, the P-1101 and the FW-252 will stall prior to the LA-15. And as would be expected, the German aircraft have 500-meter advantages over the LA-15 in terms of optimum altitude. Rate of climb, both the MEP-1101 and the FW-252 outclimb the LA-15. So if you're looking for overall aircraft performance, it appears that in many respects the German aircraft outperformed the LA-15. However, if you look at maneuverability, the LA-15 outperforms both German aircraft, and sometimes that's the most important thing. Moving on to the American and Japanese peers, we have the North American F-86A Sabre and the Tachikawa Ki-162-3. The LA-15 is indicated as being superior in terms of armaments over both the F-86A and the Ki-162. The F-86A armaments do total collective damage per second of 480 as compared to 510 by the LA-15's armaments. The Ki-162, its armaments collectively do 480 damage per second as well. In terms of hit points, the LA-15 is 100 hit points superior to the F-86A. The Ki-162 is 50 points inferior to the LA-15. Top speed at best altitude. The LA-15 and the Sabre are the same, whereas the LA-15 outclasses the Ki-162. Maximum dive speed. The F-86A is the fastest of the group. The LA-15 and the Ki-162 are the same. Average time to turn 360 degrees. The LA-15 and the F-86 are said to be the same. I'm assuming with the same upgrades they would also be the same, but I don't know for sure. The Ki-162 is indicated as being 0.4 seconds faster on the turn than the LA-15. I don't think that's a huge difference, but it could be a winning factor in a turning dogfight. Rate of roll, the LA-15 is superior to both the F-86A and the Ki-162. Stall speed, the F-86A will stall prior to the LA-15. The Ki-162 and the LA-15 have the same stall speed. Optimum altitude, the F-86A is a high altitude performer by 800 meters. The Ki-162 and the LA-15 are the same at 2,000 meters. Rate of climb for these aircraft are all the same. Last up, we have the British Supermarine Swift. In terms of gun armaments, the Swift is indicated as being superior to the LA-15. The Swift's gun armaments collectively do 660 damage per second as compared to the 510 damage per second output of the La-15's armaments, collectively speaking. Survivability, the hit points of these two aircraft are the same. Top speed at best altitude, the Swift has a 50 km per hour advantage there. Not a huge difference. Maximum dive speed, again, Swift is faster by 200 km per hour, which is a significant number. Average time to turn 360 degrees, the La-15 has a 1.2 second advantage. Rate of roll, the La-15 rolls better than the Swift. Optimum airspeed, the Swift is faster by 174 kilometers per hour. Stall speed, the Swift will stall much sooner than the La-15. Optimum altitude, the Swift has a 500-meter advantage over the La-15. Rate of climb, the Swift also has the advantage by 13.5 meters per second. Alright, so I hope that helps put the La-15 in context with its Tier 10 fighter peers. So having reviewed my build for this aircraft, my strategy for this aircraft, its specifications, and compared it to its Tier 10 peers, let's head into a battle now and see how it actually performs. Alright, so we are on the defending team, fighting over the Albion attack on the coast, theater of operation. And it looks like we have the upper half of the map that we are most centrally located to defend.
You are approaching the front line.
Alright, so what I'd like to do is just kind of stay in between these various different objectives to see where our best route is, and we've got already a ground attack aircraft, two of them headed in to the garrison, so we're gonna... Wow, three of them. Alright. And we're gonna put damage on probably each one of these. And I pulled up there because I knew there was going to be a bomb, and I did not want to be on the receiving end of that. Alright. And this aircraft does pretty well with taking out these ground attack aircraft. The cannons are quite good. But there are three of them here, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get it done in time, but we're going to try our best. And we've got to take this fellow out quickly, or we're going to lose this objective. Now, if this were a human pilot that we were flying against here, I would not be flying quite so close. But I find that the bots don't really do the bomb kills the way that the human pilots do. Okay, so let's see what else we have over here. Got a heavy fighter. XF-90. try not to use up all my boosts because we might need it to keep up with this aircraft if we can even get in range of it. Got a multi-roll here. I think we're probably going to end up targeting the multi-roll first. So you can see those cannons are quite good. And we were able to dodge that incoming fire because of our maneuverability, so. See a low health multi-roll here, so we'll head down here and see if we can't take it out. And our pilot is injured, so that's going to make hitting anything difficult. There we go, we've got our pilot back. And it looks like we are down to one sector that we've maintained. That I don't think is going to last for very long. I can't even see this target. I've been seeing this happen quite a bit lately. You can't really see the target, and now we're in kind of a turning fight here. So I'm just going to aim about where I think it is. And try to hit it that way. Hits and I think we'll have it. So there we go, killing the invisible man. Again there, we're using our maneuverability to avoid that incoming fire. It looks like we have, just too many there. So as you can see, we are the only human player on our team.
You've done what you could. Go back to base.
And the other team was all bots. But there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ground attack aircraft on the enemy team. There is no way we would be able to stop all of them. And the bots on our team are pretty much useless. So it was pretty much a fait accompli that we were going to lose that match. Of course, we were #1 on the team. Yay. But, we did the best that we could in the circumstance. And I have found, playing the West Wall event at this level, the tier 10 level, that you run into this issue quite a bit. Okay, so over 5,400 in damage done to aerial targets. 5 aerial targets destroyed. Now bear in mind that we were only in battle for a little over 5 minutes, and we were attacking ground attack aircraft. At least 3 of those were ground attack aircraft, and it takes a while to kill them. So, that I think shows the strength of this aircraft. But over 6,000 in combat points. But you saw the maneuverability of this aircraft, the strength of its cannons, and its speed. let's head into another battle here and see if we can do it again. Hopefully, maybe this time winning. Okay, so for our second combat sortie, we will be defending over the Road to Rome offensive theater of operation. We do have another human player on our team, which is really nice. Let's see here. And the other team has 2 human players as well, both ground attack aircraft.
Let's roll.
Pretty good chance they're going to be going over to the stronghold over here, but we'll kind of play it by ear. We will head over to the airfield, where I think we'll probably have more interplay with other fighters, and you can see how the La-15 fares in that environment. Head over here and target this multi-role here first. We have another La-15 here. You can see how fast that aircraft is moving. I really like this aircraft. I think this is probably going to be one of my mains. It's just very versatile. Good speed, good weapons, decent altitude performance. Come down here and take out this, or at least work on this ground attack aircraft. You just see those cannons chewing on that. ME-262 here. And we are left with the airfield and our garrison. I think we will just stay here at the airfield. They were able to get the stronghold, which is fairly predictable, and you know, as a human pilot, if you don't go over to that stronghold, the ground attack aircraft are gonna dominate it. So on this map, I usually go to the stronghold because I just think it's really vital. That's a human pilot there. No doubt he's going to try to bomb kill us. That's about the only play he has. There you go. There's the attempt. But we were looking for it, of course. And you can just see how effective these cannons are. And of course, you know, again, we're in the role here of fighting these ground attack aircraft because it's just really critical. Okay, so I'm going to head over here and intercept this ME-262. Catch it. And it should be coming back around here. We need to lead a little bit more. I would really like to get this. There we go. And it looks like the airfield is vulnerable. So we'll head here and see what we can't do to protect it. As usual, we've got a huge number of ground attack aircraft, and that's a difficult situation to stop all of them at a time.
They've captured the airfield. We need to regain these positions immediately.
Well, we do need to regain them, but we're not going to be able to do that because we can't. What we can do is try to prevent them from doing it to the next objective. And we're going to use our maneuverability here. You see, this aircraft is just very maneuverable. I think we're going to let that 262 go. Focus on this ground attack aircraft here, which right now is at full health. Do not want it coming back around for another run. We can help it. There we go. And it looks like we just have, and that's it. We have prevailed.
Great job today. We'll be waiting for you back home.
Okay, so Guardian, Flying Guardian badge, rank 2 on the team, 3 chevrons on our grade rank, Subjugator, Effective Fire, Hat Trick, and Flying Start. So we'll head back now to the hangar and take a look at the after action summary. Okay, so over 9,000 in damaged aerial targets. So that, that tells you we were really beating on those ground attack aircraft to get those kinds of numbers. 12 aerial targets destroyed, so 12 kills. 7 of those while defending over sectors. We were destroyed at no time. We also had 2 assists. Over 9,000 in combat points. Clone Trooper was #1 on the team with 8 kills. So anyway, that certainly shows you the strength of the La-15, and it's just an excellent aircraft. Let's head into one more. Why not, right? So we will be fighting in the La-15 over the Northern Bridgehead Steel Avalanche Theater of Operation. And we will be defending. Looks like we have the southerly spawn point, so we will kind of fly through this area here and then see what our enemy is doing. 2 humans on each team. The enemy team's humans are flying ground attack aircraft, IL-40Ps. They have not shown up. There they are. Reached over 900 kilometers per hour on that attack run. Pretty nice. We have to be very careful here. End up getting the victim of a bomb attack. When they go up in the air like that, that is a good time to target. Make sure we don't collide here. Hello. Multi-roll coming in here. So this is a great time to target these. When they're angled like that, they're probably not going to be dropping bombs. The one exception is when they're angled up against a mountainside. I have seen them drop a bomb angled onto the mountainside, which was pretty amazing. This multi-roll, and then we'll deal with the ground attack aircraft again. see if we can't finish off this ground attack aircraft. You can see this La-15 is very maneuverable. An ME-262 here, an FW-252. Must have set him on fire. And we're gonna just veer out of his way, let him hopefully go past us, and we'll finish him off. Yeah. I was trying to avoid that, and I saw when I pulled up, he pulled up, and it was too late to do anything. Oh well. Probably should have gone to the side. And looks like they are going to get this stronghold before we can do anything about it. Yeah. But maybe we can take them out before they get to the next objective.
Attention, all aircraft. Fall back and regroup.
Okay, so unfortunately a defeat. Let's head back to the hangar and take a look at the after action summary. Alright, so 10 aerial targets destroyed, so 10 kills. Did over 7,600 damage to aerial targets, so you know, a good bit of that would have been our ground attack aircraft, because they are high survivability aircraft, so it does take a good bit of effort to take them down. We were in the battle for about 6.5 minutes, so that's pretty good for that time frame. Was destroyed only once, but that was because we zigged when we should have zagged. That was a one time that we tried to avoid the collision and in fact collided. So over 9,000 in combat points. So I think that you know, even though it was a defeat for the team, I think that did demonstrate this aircraft's strengths. It's got good cannons, good range of fire, very fast aircraft, as you saw. We got up, you know, 900 kilometers per hour on that one attack run at the airfield. So anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you get the opportunity to fly the La-15, I hope you have great success in it.